welcome to the morning sprint. It is hump day. We are halfway through the week, that halfway point, guys. We only got a few more days, couple more days to be honest, before we get to that weekend. Either way, I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful, blessed day so far. Again, it is early. Get your cup of coffee and sit down and relax for a second while we talk about some of the stories that are happening, not only here in our country, here on a local level, but overseas as well. We're going to address some of the top stories that you've been seeing hitting your headlines this morning. Definitely the devastating situation over in Israel. But before we do that, later in the sprint, we'll got a story that's gonna kind of make you sad a little bit, but smile at the same time, because you remember this chick right here. Yeah, this is Dorothy. Broke the record for the oldest person to skydive. We got a sad update on her passing, but get this, we also have how many people are paying their tributes to her and saying just how much of an impact she made on their lives at 104 years old. So yes, we're going to get to that story later on in the sprint. Shout out to my boy Kareem for dropping that in our comment section. In the old sprint that we did over her when this originally happened, he sent the update, and I was just like, we got to talk about Dorothy today. Something else we got to talk about, obviously, the awful situation over in Israel when the Hamas terrorists, broke through their border. And unfortunately, you guys have seen the videos. They're hard to watch. People need to see it because, again, that was just pure evil, that what happened to Israel. And right now, again, they are retaliating with full force, as they should. United States government, everybody, all the nations with goodwill have all said that we support the right for Israel to defend itself against the evil Hamas terrorist organization. But in the wake of this devastating situation, there will be a vigil tonight, okay? It's happening at 7:30 to show support and pray for the victims of Israel, okay? Many Jewish students at Virginia Tech come right here to Hillel, the Jewish student organization, in the wake of Israel attacks. Now, the students like Ethan Werner say that the Jewish community on campus is small but tight-knit. He says, in times like these, the community is more needed than ever, especially with the uncertainty.
Asking if someone's alive. I mean, that is it. I can't even begin to explain the emotions and how hard it is to physically type those words. And then every second you wait for that response is a year.
Devastating situation right there. So Hillel says that they're expanding and extending their hours, as well as bringing in counselors for students. So yeah, I think the latest death toll was around 2,900 together, those who are in Gaza, and then those Israeli families and friends, and it's just all around a devastating situation. Again, something that just really, really brings anger to my soul. They're like I always mention. I was talking to my coworker earlier today. There are only a few stories out there that really could get me to shaking, as far as being disturbed or upset. They're out there that are just sending their deepest prayers to Israel. Again, we stand with you, and we pray that this situation again works itself out for sure. But yeah, we do know and hope justice will be served in honor of Israel. All right. Something else that also enrages me, but this is ended up being a good ending at the end of the day. Child predators is something that really gets the girl going, that I'm just like, I will never understand that form of evil either. But we got something new this morning that is actually good news, okay? These people that you see on your list, sick individuals, are off the streets right now. Several Florida law enforcement agencies conducted an undercover sting targeting child predators. Detectives posed as children on social media and online dating apps. Investigators say that the suspects showed up to an undercover location in Polk County, expecting to meet with kids for sex, but were instead met with deputies.
That night, they would have all attacked children had it not been an undercover operation, and it had been a real child that they managed to groom online.
Yeah, so Sheriff Grady Judd said that one of the men arrested was 26-year-old elementary school daycare teacher in the area. All 6 suspects are from Central Florida, but yeah, some gross stuff right there. But again, it should raise awareness. Thank God that this ended the way it did. I know there are several situations where that is not the case, and we do have so many child sex trafficked slaves out there that unfortunately could churn your stomach. It is just the sickest situation. And I employ all of you still to watch The Sound of Freedom. I mentioned this movie a while back when it first came out, raising awareness about this awful, awful industry of people who unfortunately got that I don't even understand what it is, but thank God these 6 individuals are off the street. So yeah, it ended up working out for the best. But again, send your prayers to other situations where we know that's not always the outcome. Sad that we're living in a world that's having to deal with that. Switching gears now, we got some cool stories, cool news stories coming our way with Carillion. It's new space to meet the mental health needs of the community. That's the goal of Carillion Clinic's new mental health facility at Tanglewood Mall. Staffed by 300 employees and 70 providers, the new facility will accommodate about 800 patients a day. Outpatient services range from grief and healing to specialties for adults and kids. And officials say having these sites in a mall not only reduces the stigma surrounding the services, but also makes it easier to access. Carillion Mental Health Facility will be fully operational by Tuesday, October 17th. So a cool deal right there, something that, again, is happening in our community a lot, especially since the pandemic kicked off with the mental health, needing that therapy and needing some type of help with dealing with whatever situations people are dealing with. So the fact that they got this resource available and ready to go, easy access, and again, taking that stigma away where people shouldn't be ashamed to go get mental health help. So that's a cool resource right there. If you want to see that full story, it's on our website, WSLS.com. I know the sprint is a bit heavy today, but news was heavy today. And like we mentioned here, we always keep it real. We got to mention some of those heavy hitting stories that are happening in our nation just to keep people in the know, but also that positive spin, whether it be a community coming together and praying for the victims of Israel, or it be child predators being taken off the streets because of a successful operation. And then obviously a new resource for those dealing with mental health issues, needing that help and that therapy, having those resources. So yes, all of that stuff and more. We're going to switch gears right now to a happy story, something that'll make you smile, and that's the artistic work of God in our nature, okay? So the red, orange, and yellow colors are coming out, but local businesses focusing on the green, and we're talking about that moolah as the fall tourism season gets underway along the Blue Ridge Parkway. We're told that at least 2 million visitors come to the scenic route every October. Doesn't matter what day you choose, since it varies in elevation. The colors will likely be going strong all month. So they say each year travelers have about $1.3 billion impact economically along the parkway. So it's just a beautiful sight to see. Again, something that can switch gears for you, make you smile. You see how beautiful our area is. And again, it looks like a painting. I always say it looks like a beautiful painting, and it just showcases how special it is to other people, seeing as though we get that many people coming to visit just to look. That's always a blessing to have in our community. With that being said, we got to get to that forecast. Woke up today, had to crank that heater up because it was a bit chilly, bring that jacket, all that good stuff, because it's getting into those mornings where it's starting to feel very fall-like. Meteorologist Chris Michaels joins us right now with our Hump Day forecast.
Happy Hump Day, guys. Starting out with the jacket once again. Temperatures this afternoon, 60s and 70s with clouds increasing. Rain is mostly going to hold off until Saturday, and another big cool down heading into next week. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. I'll see you first thing tomorrow morning on the Sprint.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. All of my kiddos, I got some scary news for you for the Halloween season. You might not like it, but unfortunately, it's the reality that kids and adults alike are having to deal with, okay? So, trick-or-treaters could see an extra scare this Halloween, and that scare is a new survey from the sales and marketing group Advantage Solutions says that suggesting trick-or-treaters may get less candy this year due to inflation, my kids. Yeah, inflation's taken over again, all right? So, out of 1,000 adults surveyed, 40% said that inflation will impact their plans to buy candy. Another 35% say that they plan on spending the same amount as last, recognizing that the money will not go as far. So, yeah, inflation is something serious, man. That thing it's jacking up a lot of stuff, especially the pocketbook. I remember going to the store, and it's been crazy because my last couple trips to the grocery store, whether it be Walmart or Kroger, I don't know about you guys, but it's amazing how when you go shopping, you got like a sack, just one sack with maybe 5 essential things that you need, basic items that you need, and you get to the desk and you're swiping, and then it doesn't seem like a lot, and then you look at your final total, and you're just like, how in the world did this equal $70? Adulting is hard. So yeah, that's exactly what's happening with our Halloween candy. So guys, save up, spend where you need to spend. But yeah, inflation is definitely no joke at this time of year. Speaking of this time of year, you already know the theme of Halloween, the theme of October and fall is the pumpkins and the gourds. Something I've never seen though is someone paddling in a pumpkin. Okay, yeah, that's right. You're looking at your screen and you're looking at it correctly. Okay, Missouri man paddled in a giant homegrown pumpkin about 38 and a half miles down the Missouri River on Monday. That has got to be tough to do in a kayak, but let alone a big pumpkin. And get this, it weighed nearly 1,300 pounds. He's part of a group called Paddle KC. They say that it set the new Guinness World Record for the longest ride by pumpkin boat. The previous Guinness World Record was held by a Nebraska man who last year paddled down the Missouri River 37 and a half miles in an 846-pound pumpkin. Again, that looks tough to do by kayak, but a pumpkin, hello, there's a competition for everything. I've seen it all, but hey, he made it, and shout out to him setting that world record. It's always cool when you can add that accomplishment to your resume. Speaking of adding an accomplishment to the resume, we got to get to little old Dorothy. Dorothy was a 104-year-old Chicago woman we first told you about a couple weeks ago. I want to say maybe last week. I don't know. We do these every day, and I never know. It all runs together. But either way, she just did a recent skydive where you can see her certified by Guinness World Record as the oldest person to ever jump from a plane. Unfortunately, Dorothy has passed away. So I want to kind of break down and read this full story about her because I want people to exactly know who she was and why she was so impactful to other people, okay? So it says that Dorothy Hoffner's close friend, his name is Joe Conant, said that she was found dead, unfortunately, on Monday morning by staff at the Brookdale Lakeview Senior Living Community. Conant said that Hoffner apparently died in her sleep on Sunday night. He says that he met Hoffner, whom he called Grandma at her request, several years ago while he was working as a caregiver for another resident at the Senior Living Center. He said that she had an amazing energy and remained mentally sharp. He says that she just kept going. He says on Tuesday, she was not someone who would take naps in the afternoon or not show up for any function, dinner, or anything else. She was always there, fully present, and she kept going as always. On October 1st, Hoffner made a tandem skydive that could land her in the record book of world records as the oldest skydiver. She jumped out of a plane from 13,500 feet, which is 4,100 meters at Skydive Chicago in Illinois. 85 miles, guys, southwest of Chicago. So he says, age isn't just a number. Hoffner told a cheering crowd moments after landing. It's not her first time jumping from a plane. That happened when she was a spry 100 years old. So yeah, she loves the risk right here. It says that he said that he was working through paperwork to ensure that the Guinness World Record certified Dorothy posthumously as the world's oldest skydiver, but he expects it will take some time. The current record was set May 2022 by 103-year-old Linnea Ingrid Larsson of Sweden. He says that Dorothy didn't skydive to break a record. He said that she had so thoroughly enjoyed her first jump that she just wanted to do it again. And he says, quote, she had no intention of breaking the record and she had no interest in any publicity or anything. She was doing it for any other reason than she wanted to go skydiving, he says. So there's a memorial set up for Dorothy in early November. But again, I just remember covering this story, and Jazz, you can jump in on this with me. I just remember how inspiring it was for her to take that risk, 104 years old, and as we said, living her best life.
Yeah, I'm just really glad that she got to live her, like you said, live her best life, live out her dreams before she passed. It's really it's a sad situation, but it looks like she had a very full life, and she went after what she wanted despite her age. She didn't let that limit her. So that's truly inspirational to everyone because it shows that no matter how old you are, you can still do what you love and do what you want to do and what you desire. You can still go after that adventure and still take risks and things like that, no matter how old. So, yeah, she's truly inspirational, and I really hope she rests in peace.
Amen. And, we were following this story, and, our loyal viewer, Kareem, he came in, and he actually put this story on my radar and updated it for us. But he commented on our article today and says that great update, actually. We know the story ends with a buzzer-beating bucket list bell heard round the world. So, yeah, shout out to Dorothy.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Thanks for keeping us updated on that, and thanks for bringing it to our attention.
Yes. So, Jazz, do we have any more comments or anything like that today?
No, we don't have any comments, but even if you watch the video at a later time, still leave a comment, and we'll be sure to respond to live. All you need to do is head to the Morning Sprint article. There's a comment form right beneath the live stream. Drop a comment there, and we'll respond to your comments tomorrow and just hear what you have to say. You can also respond to the Morning Sprint on Facebook or on YouTube. But we'd love to hear from you guys on any sort of stories that we're talking about in the Morning Sprint. We just want to hear your thoughts.
Perfecto, Jazz. Well, thank you, girlie.
All right, bye.
Have a good one. All right, guys, before we roll out, let's get to these headlines so you'll know exactly what's going on in our later newscasts, including 10 News at noon. Okay, coming up, we got the first shipment of U.S. weapons has arrived in Israel this morning. More than 920 people, including 260 children, have been killed in Gaza, while more than 1,000 have been killed in Israel. President Joe Biden said that 14 Americans had been killed and others were being held hostage by Hamas. We're going to stay on this story for a while now. Hopefully, and again, everybody's standing behind Israel, hoping they get through this awful, awful situation. State police and local law enforcement are investigating a swatting call that forced students to evacuate in multiple school districts yesterday. We're told that a recorded message about a bomb threat was sent to Rockbridge County and Martinsville High School. Working through that case right there. And then last but not least, 2 people are dead following that crash on Route 220 in Franklin County. Have identified those particular individuals. Obviously, this is something that VDOT is working to address as well, as far as it being an area that apparently has seen some crashes similar to this before. So we're working on all these stories and so much more coming up in our later newscasts and online at WSLS.com. But again, guys, if you watch this sprint and felt heavy, yeah, like I said, it was a heavy morning because we were just going over all of the awful things that are happening in our nation right now and in the world in general. So the most we can do is pray about it. God is in control. I'm a believer, so you're going to hear me scream that from the mountaintop. I'm not afraid to say that. Yeah, it's a tough situation, but again, we'll be here for you. Facts first, feelings out of it, and we'll be sure to keep you guys updated on all the stories that you want to know about and be in the know about, whether it's online or on air on our 10 News station. So again, thank you so much for joining us on this hump day. Hopefully tomorrow will be a better day, more happier news stories. Send us some pins, man. Give us some of those Halloween displays or something so we can leave this show smiling big ear to ear. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you back here tomorrow, 8 a.m. for the Morning Sprint at WSLS.com.